I don't think you guys realize how easy it is to make some extra money by painting furniture. We got this for $40 and I'm just gonna tell you right now that we sold it for $6.75. Hi, I'm Charlie and I refinish furniture with my partner Kendall, and in this video we're gonna show you everything you need to know to start earning some extra cash. You want to start out by picking a piece with the shape that you like, going for a clean modern style today so we don't have to do backflips like building a new stand or cutting stuff off. So let's move on to the actual first step, taking off the hardware. This one is a terrible example to show you because most of the time you can just unscrew the handles off from inside the drawer, but obviously this one had to go and be unique. Then we discovered these 4 little caps. It's so obvious from this angle now, but at the time I was just like, what a weird decoration. But after we took those off, it was clear that the handles were screwed into that first face panel. Honestly, like, don't be scared of this. I think this is the first piece ever that we had to do this for. Yeah, we can do that. I'm just It's so disgusting, this one. So dirty. Got that big scratch all along the side. And I was not exaggerating at all when I said that this thing was dirty. It was left outside probably for months, just judging by the look of it, and the inside is all like exposed particle board, so then all the dust and spider webs and just all the grossness just got caught and stuck. So what should have taken us like 5 minutes and have been like the shortest step ended up taking the longest. After we separated the front panel, we took off the hardware and then just reinstalled it back onto the dresser. You'll probably never have to do this. Now, if you're here, I'm assuming you like to DIY, which is what my channel is all about. And if you like to DIY, you're probably more inclined to do it yourself in other aspects of your life. As you all know, the holidays are coming up, and that means a lot of cooking and baking and Christmas crafts if you have little ones. Thankfully, our sponsor, Craftsy, makes it easy to stay inspired by being your one-stop shop for all things creative. From cooking and baking to knitting and doing your own DIY ornaments, Crafty's got the classes to fit what you like to do. So for me, I've got a couple people in my family, Kendall's one of them, with food allergies, and so this class led by Robin Miller, who is an author and nutritionist since 1990, is perfect for us in order to make delicious meals that everyone can enjoy. These videos are easy to follow, and the recipes are also printable for when you're ready to do your thing. And guess what? There's even a discussion tab under the class if you have any questions for the video creators or if you just want to leave a nice comment. But you know what's even better? As a member, you'll have access to join the live tutorials where you can interact with the instructor in real time, and there's a ton of different live ornament workshops right now for Christmas, so if you're looking for like a nice family bonding activity to do, these would be perfect and they would be so cute too. Thank you all for supporting my channel, and thank you to Craftsy for sponsoring this video. Now, the first 1,000 of you to click the link in the video description or use the QR code here will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49, valid for new members only. Now time to keep working. So we gotta clean this bad boy, and for that I'm using a degreaser called Simple Green. This brush and drill thing is not necessary by any means, so if you're just starting out, don't feel like you have to go and buy every little gadget that you see. You might need to use a little more elbow grease, but a rag will do it just fine. This backboard also was just completely warped and messed up, so Kendall took it off. A new backboard we knew would cost us around 20 bucks, but it's worth it to us to replace it rather than spending all our time trying to fix the old one. Plus, the drawers would only come out with the backboard off, since the little tabbies to release them from the drawer track were on the backside. But it was almost like wedged inside the dresser in this groove that was meant to hold it.
Alright, so the camera died, but we decided to just rip it off. And now you can see how dirty
Like, look at that.
this thing is.
It's crazy. It's like particle board 4 with MDF, like, no wonder it's so
It is so disgusting.
So now that everything's clean, it's time to scuff sand the piece. This just helps your product stick on and stay stuck on. If you're gonna invest in a piece of equipment, I'd say to go and buy a corded sander. You can go cordless, which is what we did when we first started, but then we had to buy batteries and a charger, and those could get pretty expensive. This sander I have is from DEWALT, and it's around $100-ish, but I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The Craftsman that you can get at like Lowe's, Rona, is $60, around that, and it's literally the same sander. They're both under like the Stanley umbrella, and I have both sanders, and I honestly like them both the same. Okay, so this is after the first scuffing of the entire dresser. You can see how all the damage and scratches are really jumping out at you right now. There's some veneer issue, peeling off stuff going on, but we're just gonna patch it up right now with Bondo, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. Okay, Bondo 101. This stuff is meant to be a car filler, so it's super strong. It dries really quickly in like 15 minutes or so before you can sand it down. It comes in 2 parts. And grab some, put it on like a piece of cardboard or something. Blue stuff. So Bondo is really good for big repairs like corners and hardware holes, mostly because it's really strong. So I'd say get a Bondo and then also get a normal wood filler. You want to use the Bondo for structural damage and wood filler for smaller things like scratches and dents. Bondo's a lot harder to sand down than normal wood filler, so you'll be really glad that you just have like a normal, little bit weaker one. Right, this is the situation. It's gonna look a lot worse, which it looks pretty bad now, before it looks better. Whoa. So this part, again, not necessary, but to me it gives the surface a really nice and smooth finish. So to do this, you are gonna need your wood filler, you're gonna need a little thing of water, doesn't matter if it's in like a spritzer bottle, or you need a brush and a little spatula like this. So what I like to do, smear it all over the top, like that, and then I'm gonna shoot it with some water. So make sure your brush is decently wet. Squeeze out the excess, and then we're just gonna smear it around. So I'll usually let this mixture thing dry overnight since there's a lot of water in that filler, and then I'll come back the next day and sand it later. You don't want to rush it, because if you do and you sand it when it's not completely dry, it'll get all like clumpy and just really annoying. Just trust me on this one. So when it is ready to be sanded, try not to sand it all the way down. You do want to leave like a little hazy layer of filler. So this is what's left of the wood filler after we sanded it down. You can kind of see how like all these little white areas got filled in, and those would all be little cracks and just little imperfections had I not done the wood filler water mixture. Over here too, you can see all these little dents and dings. So yeah, that's kind of just how you get a nice, smooth, perfect finish.
Oh no. Oh! Oh my gosh. Oh my. This is what I'm talking about. Doesn't that hurt, buddy?
A little tip for you dog owners, don't put out your tarp when they're around. They'll think it's a game.
Ugh.
Okay, so at this point we have blown off all the dust, and you're probably going to want to take like a wet rag and clean off all the dust, but you actually don't want to do that because of this really thin layer of wood filler, like water mixture that we put on here. If you put a damp rag on it, that'll just melt it back and like basically remove all the work you just did. So instead, you should take a Tekla. And you don't need to like press too hard on this thing. See, like that's all the dust. At this point, we had gotten a special package from our friends over at Country Chic, and they'd sent a bunch of stuff, so thank you to the team for letting us try their products. Not sponsored. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because it's time to prime. Their primer comes clear, and I have a strong sneaking suspicion that it's water polyurethane based, because it smells like the same. I spray this with my paint gun, but I'll do the drawers by hand, because I think that's how it was made to be applied. We're gonna do these drawers with the brush and the roller. Primer. Ooh, this is a nice brush. And while the brush is a really nice one, holy smokes, it's so smooth. I still think that going over what you just did with the dry foam roller is like the most foolproof way to ensure that you get a streak-free coat. This was a pretty easy project. We didn't do anything crazy, and a lot of the fancy equipment that I actually have is not really necessary. So don't think that you have to go out and buy everything that you see. But if you are interested, I'll have all my stuff linked below. So right now the plan is to mix these two together, make like a really dark green-black kind of thing, and then we're going to use that color and go over everything. Okay, so the two colors we're going to be going in today are these two, which are Licorice is the black one, and then Hollow Hill is the green one. We're just going to mix them together. It's like this little sediment, like bead stuff. I wonder if that's like the clay. Let's see how that looks. So these are chalk style paints. Well, technically they're clay based, so they're gonna be a little bit thicker than say like a cabinet paint. Chalk paints exploded on the scene a couple years ago for being a really great option because they say you don't need to prep the surface before with scuffing or priming. I actually haven't tried not prepping my surfaces because I like to be safe, but the chalk paints that I have tried before do have really great adhesion. Okay. So now I'm taking the paint on the brush, and Kendall's going to follow behind me with the roller, and you want to make sure that the roller is at least like 90% dry. I just didn't have enough of the brush. Whoa, look at... Oh yeah. On the body, we'll be using the sprayer again. It's just easier to get into like the corner details with the sprayer, and it's a lot faster than doing it manually. A sprayer is almost a must-have if you do this a lot, but for a beginner, I'd say it's a really nice to have. So this is after the first coat. We kind of ran out of paint over the top surface, but we're just gonna leave it at that and come back and, I don't know, do it again, I guess. So Kendall made fun of me one day for asking him to come outside to help me move the table, so when I went away for a couple days with my sister, he was left to his own devices. He sent me this clip of himself to prove that one person could do it. I guess he did prove me wrong, but at what cost? Anyway, Kendall's about to sand it down again to get it ready for the next coat. There were still remnants of that deep scratch from before, so he's just gonna fill it with some spot putty before sanding it down flush. Sometimes you can get away with like little imperfections before you paint, because then the paint will fill in the little pores or whatever imperfections you have, but not in our case. The next day we gave it another coat and made sure that everything was fully covered. Finish off, we're going to use the Country Chic Clear Coat. Now, top coat can be pretty tricky to get smooth, and so they also sent us some applicator sponges for it. It's supposed to help with streaks, but after I did the edges, I didn't really like the way they came out, so we opted to spray the rest of the surfaces. I would suggest to roll it out after you apply.
Nice.
Oh, he's coming. Is he gonna avoid it? Oh, he's gonna avoid it. Oh, he's on. Whoa,
The tree of life.
oh. There we go. Oh, look at him go. He looks... Next, we mixed in the top coat in our gun, and this will just tint it, and it also gives it that little bit of extra coverage. So we did a couple coats of poly, and after we let that dry, it's time to install the hardware. These came in a pack of 25 for like 10 bucks at our local restore, so we've been sticking them on everything. Now for this, you want to measure the whole distance for the handle. For me, it's 5 inches. Once you have that measurement, just mark out the center point of your drawer. So my handles have a 5-inch distance, so I'm going to go 2.5 inches to the left and to the right of my center point. So it's 1:30 in the morning and someone's coming tomorrow, or no, we're delivering it tomorrow to someone who bought it, so we're putting this on. We went to the store to get a new backboard, $15, and now all we have to do is nail them in place. Now let's take it back to how it started. It was dirty, it had that big scratch in the middle, but other than that, it was in decent overall shape, and all it really needed was a paint job and some filler, and she is as good as new. Now, how much did we spend? We spent $40 for the piece. The handles were just under $3 for all of them. Spent $15 for the backboard, and while some products were sent to me, if they weren't, it probably would have run me about $10 for the amount that we actually used. Throw in a generous 10 bucks for miscellaneous stuff like sandpaper and wood filler, and we're off with a profit of just under $600. So thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe if you're all the way here, and let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this flip. That's it for us today, and Kendall and I will see you guys next time here on Holly's Garage.